for a 12-band puzzle ring. The 12-band puzzle ring has 6 outside bands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 inside bands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I always recommend to people, before you remove all the bands from your puzzle ring, inspect it so you can see where the bands are placed. This will help you in identifying the bands. I will now take the ring apart and help you identify the bands when they are loose. The easiest bands to identify are the outside bands. This is because the 6 outside bands form 2 very distinct points. So you can see I have 3 bands here that form one point and 3 bands here that form another point. The other 6 bands are the inside bands. They're essentially the same, except for you have 3 bands that have a smooth top and 3 bands that have a dimpled top. The 12 band is a funny ring because it looks like it's the most difficult, but in actuality it's fairly easy. The first step you want to do is identify the outside bands, which we've already done, and then place them so they are pointing out. So you can see I have 6 bands. 3 of them are pointing out to the left and 3 of them are pointing out to the right. Probably the most difficult part about the 12-band puzzle ring is keeping them all together. I then drop these bands and work with the top 6 bands. So you can see I have the smooth bands on my left side and the dimpled bands on my right. What I do is I'm going to treat these 3 bands as if they were one band and these 3 bands as if they were one band. So I turn them so they're face down. With the dimpled bands in my right hand, I turn them counterclockwise and rest them inside the smooth band. So you can see what's happened is the 6 outside bands have been trapped inside of a figure 8. Now I want to put those 6 outside bands in the position that they were in the first step, because this will help me when I'm feeding them in. I then want to identify which of the 3 bands I put in first. I do that by counting the number of dimples. So you can see this band has 2 dimples, and this band only has 1 dimple. Now again, the trick with the 12-band puzzle ring is I'm going to treat these 3 bands as if they were one band. So I take the ones that have the most number of dimples, making sure I keep them all together, turning the ring so it's face down, and I turn those 3 into the figure 8. And you can see what's happened is it's in its position and the remaining 3 bands are locked. So now what I do is, again, I want to stack them on top of each other, because all you're going to do is treat these 3 bands as if they were one single band. I then turn it so that the bands are facing my right. Okay, and I weave it into the figure 8 again. You can see I had to let it loose a lot in order to fit these 3 bands in. Now I'm just going to fold them inside, and there you have the 12-band puzzle ring.